Hey everybody, we are in Psalms chapter 5 today, and we are going to read just the first 3 verses. And David said in verse 1, "Give ear to my words, O Lord, consider my meditation. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God, for unto you will I pray. My voice shall you hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto you, and will look up." I was thinking as I was reading this about how, as an attorney, I will go into court on behalf of my client, and I will tell the court, this is what my position is, and this is what I think you should do about it, and the other attorney will do the same. And at the end of the day, the judge will say, I will take the matter under consideration, and I will issue you my decision. And the judge makes that decision, and whether we agree with it or not, it is something that we have to submit to. Sometimes it's not exactly what I think that the court should have done. Sometimes it's not exactly what the other side thinks the court should have done. But the court, in its own wisdom, did what they thought was best for that situation. Now, we as Christians have the authority of God to submit to, but we have to tell God, not that God needs to hear it from us, because he already knows the beginning from the end and everything in between and all of the thoughts in our mind and the things in our hearts. But he wants us to talk to him, to commune with him, and to have that time of conversation, to tell him the things that are going on in our hearts and our minds. And David said, and he begged of God, "Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my meditation." And he said, "Hearken unto the voice of my cry." And notice how he addressed God. He said, "My King," knowing that it was God that he submitted to. It was God who had the authority over him. And then after that, he said, "And my God," meaning this is the one that I bow down to, and this is the one that I worship. And he says, "For unto you will I pray." We all have a choice. We can run to God with the things that are troubling us, and we can submit them to God and beg of God to hear us, but then trusting that God will answer us in the way that God wants to answer us. Or we can run to our friends and we can get their opinion and follow their opinion. And there's a lot of people, a lot of Christians who do that. They don't take seriously what God was saying about submitting to him and understanding that God has your best interests at heart. They say that, they pay it lip service, but they don't follow it. But look at what David said in verse 3. He said, "My voice shall you hear in the morning." He was making a commitment to seek God, the beginning of every day, to seek God. And he said, "In the morning, I will direct my prayer unto you." But then look at what he says at the very end of verse 3. He says, "And will look up." There comes a point in time where we as Christians have to stop looking at our circumstances, and we need to start looking towards God, because that's where help comes from. If we continue to focus on the circumstances that are around us, we are going to continue to have our mind focused on the things that we shouldn't be addressing, because we need to trust in God and we need to be looking to him for our help. And if we're so caught up in the things that are around us, we are going to miss the answer that God has placed right in front of us. So whatever your circumstances are, pray, seek God, and then look up, because he has already answered you. Until next time.